everybody. Welcome back to Affirm Your Week with Yeyise. Today is day 4 of our special week. We've been unpacking our topic, or rather affirmation for the week, God is my source. And today we want to talk about God as our source of
happiness.
Our source of happiness.
Yay!
Yes. And we know that, and as you can see, today I am doing a collab. I am collaborating with Let's Game with Wamu.
Yay!
Yes, in this fam we've got 2 YouTube channels. There's Affirm Your Week with Yeyise, and there's also Let's Game with Wamu. And today we're doing a collaboration because we'd like you to get a sense of what also is available from this family, so that you can link your kids with Let's Game with Wamu.
And you can link the adults with Affirm Your Week with
Exactly.
Yeyise.
So while you are watching Yeyise, your kids could be watching Let's Game with Wamu and having fun. So yes, today we'll be talking about God is our source of happiness, and we know that happiness means different things to different people. It's a very subjective kind of word, because it depends on what people prefer, on people's preferences, but also what people have defined as key things that sort of make their boats float, right? Whatever makes you happy is sort of defined by a whole lot of things, including your growing up, your background, your inclination to different things based on how that sort of makes you feel. I don't want to go into the details of it, but we'll just ask each other a few questions just to share with you all what happiness means to us. So I will be asking Wamu some questions about happiness and what that means to him. Mm-hmm. So Wamu, tell me and tell our viewers, what does happiness mean to you?
Honestly, I would say that to me, happiness is a feeling that everyone would want to have and everyone would fight over.
Fight over. Okay, so how does that feeling feel like? If you could describe it in words.
It's a good feeling, an exciting feeling, like a feeling you'd want to have again.
Yes. I love that statement, Wamu. A feeling that you'd love to have again, because our nature is to be happy. Our true nature is not frustration, is not sadness. We thrive well when we are happy. So it is definitely a feeling we would want to have again. It's a feeling we should be aiming for in our relationships, at work, at home, whatever you are involved in. Happiness is definitely a feeling you would want to thrive for in different areas of your life. So Wamu, would you be able to share maybe any story or incident or moment when you felt extremely happy, whatever that moment was?
Okay, so this has happened a long time ago, in 2016, when I was 4, back when I was an extremely fragile boy. So it was just a normal day, and we went for break time at grade 0, the 0th grade. We went for break time, and when we went for break time, about 5 minutes later, I couldn't even take a bite of my sandwich. The teacher was like, "Come in 3." And then all of the kids started bouncing off the jungle gym and running, while I was still trying to literally take a bite of my sandwich. So I
Your
put
very
it in.
first bite.
Yeah. So I walked into the classroom extremely hungry, and I wasn't happy. And all of a sudden, this inspector person came, and I was like, oh, it's probably just Son's parents. So I went to my bag and I got a book and I started reading it. And all of a sudden, they started looking at me and talking. And I was like, what is happening here? I am literally just 4 years old. Why would you do this to me? And I was extremely anxious about what they were saying. So I just continued reading the book, and then the person announced that their inspector about to inspect everyone's behavior. Obviously, everyone acted nervous, including me, yes. And out of all of the 26 people in class, I was the only one who got that big golden star on my forehead. And for some reason to me, for the rest of the day, that was my source of happiness. And looking back at it now, no, that was not my source. That is not the source of happiness. God is the source of happiness.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Coming from being sad, from not being able to eat your breakfast to being the star of the day.
And by the way, after he left, I said I want to go to the toilet, but snuck my bag and decided to eat my lunch because I was not tolerating this behavior. Like
This
in
hunger
the middle
situation.
in the middle of break, not even 1 minute, couldn't even take a bite of my sandwich or a sip of my flavored water.
I love it. I love it. So now when you think about the topic, God is our source, you realize that it was God that positioned you in class in that manner, reading a book, so that you are the one that is identified. So it was God positioning you, to give you a moment of happiness, a moment of joy. I love it, Wamu. I love it.
Thank you very much, Yeyisa.
Do you have questions for me about the subject?
Yes, I actually do.
Mm-hmm.
Question 1. What do you think happiness means? What do you think it's all about?
Okay, yeah, so perhaps it's almost closely related to what you shared about. So for me, happiness is a feeling, exactly what you said. It's a state of feeling good within you, usually associated with a specific moment or something that happened that caused you to feel that good. So that is what it's usually sort of like defined. But what I have sort of learned over the years is that it is possible to actually keep that feeling without the condition of something happening to make you feel good. I've learned that now happiness is a choice. It's a state of being. It's a way of life, rather than having conditions that make us feel happy. So I have removed the conditions to happiness and have sort of defined it as a choice, something that we choose to do because it feels good. It's a feeling that we want to have again and again, like you said. So that's how I define it.
Okay. So may you give us an example of how happiness feels?
So happiness feels good, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it's challenging to define emotions.
Yeah.
But happiness to me, it's when I am feeling gratitude. I'm feeling satisfied. It feels good. It's something that makes me feel satisfied.
Satisfied. Okay, may you please tell us a nice story about when you realized that that specific thing was not the source of happiness?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so once upon a time, I was in school, back in school after working, and as I was doing my final year, I was doing my my exams, and I sort of thought that I had flunked my last subject. I was feeling so terrible afterwards, and then I called home. When I called home, I told my mom I was crying. I think I just messed up, and I had just remembered that a colleague of mine, like a friend from Lesotho, had not graduated because she had struggled with one of her subjects. So I was like, oh my God, could this possibly happen to me? And then after I spoke to my mom, I spoke to my son. And when I spoke to my son, he said he was 4.
Yes, I was 4. It was the same year where I ripped the skin off a 4-year-old child's face because they stole my store one day. But we ain't not going into that. Let's continue.
Yeah, so anyway, when I spoke with my son, he said, Mommy, you're gonna make it. I know it. I believe in you. Those words changed the course.
I'm such
A 4-year-old told me that he believed in me. I felt so good inside. And I know for sure that he wasn't just speaking by himself. He was moved by God to make me feel good. So even our relationships, the people that we have around us, the work, the jobs, our sources of income, whoever we have, they are placed by God strategically to make our lives comfortable. So that moment was a very defining moment for me because it changed my whole mood at the time, and I realized that it was God moving for me.
Aww. How nice of 4-year-old me.
Yeah, that was really nice. So yeah, I think we will wrap up our session for the day. We wanted to just share with you all what happiness means to us and how we believe that happiness is actually coming from God. God is the one placing people in our lives or situations or moments in time that make us feel good, but also God deliberately has deposited everything within us. Our joy, our source of joy is the source within us. It is the life of God in us. So we can make a choice to be happy without conditions. We don't have to be conditionally happy. So Wamu, we're about to end our video. What would you like to say to our Premier Week with the Yisa subscribers and viewers?
I'd just love to say to all the subscribers, go and tell your children to subscribe to my channel and
Is there gonna be a please?
Yes, there is a please.
Okay.
May you go and tell your children to please subscribe to my channel. It's probably in the description. I do not know.
We'll definitely put it.
We'll probably see it to the editor here.
We'll definitely include it in there. Yeah, so please show some love for Let's Game with Wamu by subscribing to his YouTube channel, Let's Game with Wamu. Thank you for tuning in today. God is our source. God is our source of everything. God is our source of happiness. Until tomorrow, let's call it a night. Bye, everyone.